Good evening and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is April 8th, 2016. My name is Lynn and I'm your host. Welcome. We have an hour of sewing together and I'm so glad you're able to join me on FiberCast. For those of you who are new, welcome, and for those of you who have been around for a while, thanks for coming back. Happy Friday. Tonight we're going to do more Dear Jane, and I wanted to show you the progress I made from last week, and I also wanted to talk about the osprey, a bird that we have seen come back here from its migration from down in South Florida and even South America, and share a little bit about what I've learned about them over the last week while I'm here still with my mom. So let's get started though on Dear Jane. We're making the Jane Stickle quilt. For those of you who may not know Dear Jane, last week I basted a lot of blocks. I finished them. They haven't been cut to the right size, but I wanted to show you that I did finish them. And that one we actually started last year and I finished. So those are all ready to be cataloged and put into our pile. Tonight we're going to make the D-5 Cathedral Window. It's a very straightforward block, and let's pull it up and I'll show you what it looks like. D-5. Okay, so it's a paper-pieced version of what a cathedral window, do people know the cathedral window quilt that's made all by hand, where you start with the pieces of muslin like that, and then you fold it and sew it, and then like origami you kind of refold it and then sew it again and turn it around? Yeah, just like that. Yep. Anyway, this is a paper, and the end, that cathedral window quilt looks like a bunch of windows that are shaped like that, like a diamond, and that's what this is going to look like. So the colors I'm going to do today, and I'm loving that I'm getting some of these Dear Janes done, are, let's see, these two. So this blue and my white, or my off-white, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 separate paper pieces. So I'm going to pull that apart. I hope everyone's had a good week, and I saw that Sue Norton has been at the International Quilt Show. Sue, your pictures are great. Love seeing you there. Sue, as everyone knows, is well on her way to making her first Dear Jane. I saw her colored printout, and it looked great. So, just have to get some white here. You'd think I would have had time to cut this out ahead of time, but I did not. We've had a busy week here of doing some work for 3 days and then playing with my mom. We went to Ben's for dinner. If Ben and Nicole are out there, thank you so much for dinner last night. It was delicious. Great to see Violet and Reed. And we have been taking walks. And cleaning out the shop and painting it. I think last Friday night we had already painted it the Benjamin Moore Constellation Blue. Well, this week, between working 3 days, and then I touched up the ceiling. Oh, and I painted a workbench that just needed cleaning and a fresh coat of paint. So once again, I'm just cutting really big pieces here to go with every piece. And I think what I'm going to do is, here are my blue squares. that going to fit? Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are my blues in the corners. That'll be my center. And I'm going to need 4 more of these. 2. There. Okay. So put that away. Put this away for now. We'll come back to that. And let's see how my baby's running. Mom fixed her up last week. And because we did hand sewing, we didn't use her, so oh, she's beautiful. Okay. So here, as always, takes a minute to get the hang of this. So I look at my paper piece. I start with my 1, which will be my white, right side facing out. There. And yeah. There we go. And now we sew on the line. Put that over here. Trim off the extra. Okay, I'm going to put down my stitch length and open this up and finger press it, and then do my third piece here. Oh, I should be chain piecing these, shouldn't I? I'll start to do it. So Simply Colorful is not a training, or the FiberCast isn't training. It's just all of us getting together and sewing together, or doing anything with fiber together, or even just sitting and watching. Maybe you have the TV going, you have NASCAR on, you have the games on. Just, the key is to be together, catch up on the week, and share what you're doing. So, which brings me to how to share. You can always post on the Facebook page for Simply Colorful, which is great, and I see you all doing that. Sandra, I love to see what you post. Happy birthday, by the way. And everyone else, you can also send me email or chat on Google+. My email is still lmarquidant@gmail.com. So there's our first piece. Put that there near our Osprey. I'll tell you about him in a minute. So let's see, send me email. Let me see who might be out there. Send pictures of what you're working on. We love to see them. In fact, Evelyn, sent a picture called A Change of Pace. So this is Evelyn M. out in California. Sent the most lovely picture of tulips. Says, from the tannery, have a great day, Evelyn. Look at that fancy tulip. Oh, looks like an abstract watercolor painting. Thank you, Evelyn. In fact, let me show some of these others. Evelyn also sent pictures of various Moroccan cities. Some are blue. The tannery and market pictures are so intense. My husband said that there are carcinogens in many of the dyes. Evelyn, are you taking these in Morocco yourself? No, James Clear. Okay, James Clear is the photographer. And I wanted to show, since we were talking about blue rooms, these are fun. And it's going to be hard to pick which one to look at. Aren't those stunning from Morocco? Love that. I've also heard that about the dyes, that there are carcinogens in them. And I read it most recently, and I forget where. Thanks for sharing, sending that in. Pam, hi Pam. Pam says, hi Lynn and all the FiberCasters, greetings from Lancashire. Love watching you and seeing all the lovely quilts that all of your lovely ladies make. I have not been doing much sewing lately as I have had trouble with my neck. Oh no. But I hope to rectify that next week as I am off to a hotel in Blackpool for 5 days of sewing. Ooh, that sounds great. Pam says there will be 18 ladies all doing different things, i.e. machine knitting. Ooh, that's neat. I've never seen machine knitting. Machine embroidery, patchwork, doll making. We do have a good time, she says, and we do this twice a year in April and November. Pamela says she's looking forward to watching us tomorrow morning and seeing what everyone is up to. Her Saturday morning fix. Best wishes, Pamela. Oh, I'm so glad you wrote. Well, let's get back to Cathedral Window, and you can see that we're making progress as you watch this with your coffee. Let's do the middle block here. There's only one of these. Lots of waste, as you know, and I say that every time I do paper piecing. There are definitely designers and patterns out there where they tell you how much to cut each piece that you're going to use paper piecing, and that's the way to go, really, if you're doing any big project. But for these little Dear Jane blocks, my way is just fine. And you'll be proud to know, or maybe you will be, I'm not saving my little pieces right now. I've decided to throw them away. Although I do love scrappy quilts, and variety makes them wonderful to look at. Oh, and I ran out of bobbin thread. Well, no problemo. So let's talk about the Osprey. The Osprey is in, see, I don't even have my cheat sheet here. They're a bird of prey. They eat fish. And the ones up here in the Northeast migrate down to Florida every year and back. And in fact, there's a group of them here in New England that they tagged several years ago, and they actually watch where they go every year, and they come back to the same place. And that's amazing, and I wanted to show you where that is. You can actually see which osprey. They all have names, and they're tagged, and you can follow them going up the coast each spring. Well, they've arrived. The first one that came close was out in Nantucket before it made its way back over here to West Hisbury. Not West Hisbury, but the Vineyard. That should be enough. talking over my thingy. And another name for them is sea hawk. Because they are fish lovers and they dive down. Look up osprey, O-S-P-R-E-Y, and you will see that the biggest ones are 26 inches long in width, and they can have a wingspan of up to 71 inches. That's on the high end. Here's a miniature carving of one, and you'll see he's poised and looking with 4 talons on each foot, looking for a fish. The osprey and the owl are the only 2 birds of prey that have 4 talons, 2 of which can pinch backwards, which is a good way to pick up the fish, apparently. And actually, let me read that to you and see what it says. I'm just parroting back what I just read on the internet. But the most important part is we saw them for real. My mom said she heard on the internet that they were swimming around and catching fish right down the street. So either today or yesterday at lunch we drove down and sure enough we saw them, and it was quite the sight. We didn't see 15, but we saw 4, and then today we went back and we saw 2. And let me pull up okay. The osprey and the owls are the only raptors whose outer toe is reversible, allowing them to grasp their prey with 2 toes in front and 2 behind. That's particularly helpful when they grab the slippery fish, right? So this talon can go backwards. That's kind of interesting. Let's see. See if you can see this big picture. Here's another big picture. They're kind of scary looking, actually. Menacing. But in the air, they're not. They're beautiful. So, anyway, that is the osprey. We'll talk more about them. But they are back. Here's something interesting. In medieval times, the medieval belief was that fish were so mesmerized by the osprey that they turned their belly up in surrender. And this is referenced by Shakespeare in Act 4, Scene 5 of Coriolanus. Quote, "I think he'll be to Rome as the osprey to the fish, who takes it by sovereignty of nature." In Buddhism, the osprey is sometimes represented as the king of birds, especially in, oh, no, I can't read that, the Jataka, or Stories of the Buddha's Former Births. The osprey was declared the provincial bird of Nova Scotia, and it's also the official bird of Södermanland, Sweden. And this was kind of interesting. I had no idea, and I never made the connection. The osprey is used as a brand name for various products and sports teams. And remember, I said it's the osprey, or it's also known as the Seahawk. Remember the Seattle Seahawks that many of us have rooted for in the past? That's where it came from. The Ospreys, a Welsh rugby team. The Richard Stockton College Osprey, let's see, which is an NCAA Division III intercollegiate athletic team of the state of New Jersey. North Florida Ospreys, Missoula Osprey, Wagner Seahawks, Cold Spring Harbor Seahawks, Cold Spring Harbor, New York, and the list goes on. And oh, Salve Regina Seahawks in Newport, Rhode Island. Isn't that interesting? So, look up the osprey, and birds sure are fun to watch. Now, we have to get back to sewing if we're going to get this Dear Jane block done. Dear Jane, Jane didn't name any of her blocks after birds, did she? It was more like she named them after people in the community and things, like buildings. I don't remember any birds. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Oh, fell out. Wouldn't be Friday Night FiberCast without something falling off, huh? Can you believe it's April? We got through April 1st. No major pranks. We all lived through them. We also lived through snowstorms here in the Northeast and cold temperatures, which aren't completely over yet. Oh, who's there? There we go. All right, let me sew this one seam, and then we'll check that dinger. No, something's not right. Don't do this at home. Oh, what a mess. Okay, this got stuck. Okay. Can't do much bird talking when I'm fiddling with my machine. Who's out there? Okay. Let's give this one more try. It's not snapping in very well. There we go. Did you hear that? Beauteous. Here we go. Okay. Line her up. All right, third time's a charm. There's that. Cut this right off and reuse this piece. Or salvage that piece. Speaking of salvage, Regina. Here and here. So what are you all working on? Once I'll make one more piece. Actually, let's see who made that ding, and then I'll do one more piece, and then I'll see who else is out there. Oh, KB, hi. Karen says, oh my gosh, I'm late. What did I miss? We're glad you're here. Not much. We're making the cathedral window block for Dear Jane. One more. This week is our last week of Dear Jane for a little while. We're going to turn to doll making next week. So be warned or get excited. Whatever your pleasure. And you didn't miss a thing. Other than I showed one of Dad's birds. We're talking about the Ospreys. And they're here in town. And Mom has been taking me to see them. Oh, we've had some people have called in. Pamela and Evelyn have sent pictures. Jean is off looking at colleges, so she won't be on tonight. with her third daughter. Those of you who may hear me talk about Jean, did you know she has 4 daughters? They're about ready to send their third one off to college. Oh, I did it backwards. Ugh! See what I did? Backwards. I have so much extra fabric, I think I can do it this way. So just flip it over. Right sides to right side. Sorry, everyone, I'm getting turned around here. There we go. Did anyone notice the quilt behind me? Remember this from last summer? I was making it around the time that Allie came over and was making her quilt. And I made it out of a charm pack. And I just tonight did about one side of the hem. You might be able to see or the binding. It's sewn on. I just have to do the hand sewing over. It lives down here, and it'll get some good use. Let's see. I've been putting it over the new chair out in the shop, which will last for, a couple of months. I've been putting it over the chair so the chair doesn't get dirty and doesn't fade in the sunlight. Isn't that funny how with new things you do that? Or I do. But then I quickly don't. Okay, let me make sure this one's just going to fit. Okay, after we get this one done, I want to see who's out there. See, so there it is rough. And then I just turn it over and I just cut along the dotted line. Someone wrote the other day and asked if you needed both the book and the software for Dear Jane, and I said no. If you have the software, that's fine. You don't need the book. And I think if I had my druthers, I would recommend the software over the book because it can print out the patterns, and I like to do them that way. Okay, so there's what we have so far. Who's out there? Oh, Patty Bannister. Are you in Texas? She says, hi, Lynn. We'll catch you later. I have to go out. Still hand quilting my bow tie quilt. Oh, nice. She says, I have 3 borders and binding to go. Earlier in the week, I made non-skid mat for my sewing machines. Oh, that's a good idea. Although not needed on a big, fat, heavy machine like this, but a lot of them, well, maybe you do even on this if it was a skinny, slippery place. Looking forward to doing some piecing soon. I think a small wall quilt. Yes, that feels like a nice change of pace after your big quilt, your bow tie. It's going to be beautiful. She says, have a great show, Patty in Texas. Thanks, Patty. Oh, yay, FiberCast, says Sandy. Oh, Sandy sent us some great pictures. She says, hey, Lynn, aren't they sweet? I'm squaring them up to 4 inches. I plan to sew them into 16 patches, just like the Civil War 4 patch. Then who knows? Oh, how fun. Look at this. Love that. That's some of my favorite piecing. And you've got the darks and the lights. In fact, my first quilt, I think, was done like that first. I love that. Oh, and Sandy says, finally got the I Spy top together. It was a simple double slice pattern, but fought me the whole way. Some quilts simply don't want to be made, but, she says, I won. Good for you. Oh, and here it is. Oh, let's see if you can see this. Look at that. Look at how big it is, too. That's great. So, Sandy says, even though I'm not doing the Dear Jane quilt, I do enjoy seeing your work. You make it look so easy. Wishing you a wonderful weekend. Well, thank you, Sandy. Clearly, I'm a messy quilter, and I'm so glad you're out there and watching, and I love what you're doing. You're getting a lot done. It's amazing what we can get done in 60 minutes, and I bet you get a lot done. Jennifer Dale, hi. Good morning, Lynn, KB, and all the fellow FiberCasters, says Jennifer. I don't always get to watch the live telecast because it's 8 a.m. here in Perth. That's Australia. But I always catch up later in the archives. Oh, that's good to know. She says, I've just started my Dear Jane journey and am enjoying it so far. Good. It is a journey. It's not a fast thing, but I'm glad you're liking it. Do you have any tips, tricks, or suggestions for those itty-bitty, teeny-weeny, tiny little shapes that need to be appliqued? She says, I've done next to no applique before, but always willing to learn. Yes, I do have a couple of thoughts. Sometimes reverse applique can be easier on little pieces, for me anyway, which means, let's say you wanted to do, you had to do a little triangle of the white on this blue. You could try to turn under the edges of the little triangle and then put it on and sew it. Or you could simply put a piece of white behind the blue and cut out a little triangle and then turn under the triangle. That's one thing. I've seen some new tools that are really good. They're like, teeny tiny little metal spatulas that help you push down the little pieces. There's always, you can always put fusible webbing underneath your little piece, like Wonder Under. Iron that on, cut out your piece just to the exact size, put it on, and then machine satin stitch around it. That's kind of a cheater way to do it. Any way works. And let's see, sometimes kind of be creative. Don't think about piecing first. Look at the final, or don't look at the pattern, but look at the final block you want to make and see how you might make it simpler. I'm so glad you're doing it. Oh, cool. Oh, listen to, you don't need my suggestions. So Jennifer also sends us a picture of her sewing room and the Dear Jane blocks completed with 2 of them ready for me to applique while I'm watching FiberCast. That's awesome. Keep up the great FiberCast. My only disappointment is that the 60 minutes goes way too quickly. Oh, that's very nice of you to say. And look at all of your blocks. They look awesome. Have a great weekend, says Jen to everyone from Perth. And look at her. First, I'll show you her blocks, which look amazing. Very straight and crisp and clean. Those are beautiful. Oh, and it's no wonder. Jen, that is a beautiful workspace. That looks like it could be in a magazine. Wow. Oh, I want to make a workspace like that. Okay, so keep us posted on your applique. It looks like you're doing good applique one next, those gentle seams. What other tips might we have? You can use silk thread. Use silk thread in the smallest needle you can, not a quilt in between, that's too small, But they're applique needles. They're longer, but they're thinner. And use silk thread, and you won't see it. Jamie in Pennsylvania, hi. She says, hello, Lynn. Hope you had a great week. She said, I'm finally able to watch the full FiberCast tonight for the first time in a few months. Life just has been crazy. Oh, I'm so glad you're back. Welcome back. Life does get very busy. Oh, Carol Bell, hi. She says, I'm working on, here's what she's working on. First, she says, I hope you and all the FiberCasters have a good week. Have had a good week. I have finished the bus quilt I was quilting last week. Pictures attached. Saw the duvet cover on sale in a local market. Could not resist using part of it on the back of the quilt. She says, I'm not sewing this week. I am cutting squares, pairing them, and drawing on them for half-square triangles. Yours, Carol, in Yorkshire, England. Way to go. Okay, so I'm downloading. Oh, I love that one. Wow. Look at the, I love that one. And then let's see. The second one is downloading. Oh, that's great. Check out the back of this quilt. So this is her double-decker bus. A picture of it in the middle of it. I love that. Let me go back and read where you got that from. Saw the duvet cover on sale in local market and could not rest using part of it on the back of the quilt. Ah! That's great. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let me make these other two, and then we'll make the other two, and then we'll sew them together. So as I said, next week we're going to get into doll making. And if anyone is interested, well, let me know. We could do a doll sew along. I'm definitely wanting to play with paper clay for the head, the hands, and the feet. And then I'll sew the body and sew the clothes, if that's of any interest. I'd be happy to share how we do that. Let's see. I like the idea of having a doll. It's kind of an art doll that can fit in the palm of your hand, like the Hitty that Gail Wilson makes. I like that. And I'd love to make one. She does a lot of historical dolls, and lately I've been thinking I'd like to make one that is a little more contemporary. That might be fun to play with. So that's the plan, and it also coincides with having a few of the textile tarts over in a few weeks to my place. I want to have something in progress that I can work on. We were going to go down to a doll maker down in New Jersey, to Colleen Colquin. I think that's how you say her name. And we still will do that someday, but we're not going this time. It was canceled. And here we go. KB, how's Cube World going? You have to keep us posted. Ooh. Didn't do a very good job there. Check this out. I didn't have enough white, and I think I can get away with doing this. For my next magic trick, fixing up my goof. That's the thing with this paper piecing. You have to have a lot of extra to make sure when you cut it out, there's enough. There. See, I had to put that little piece there. Okay, so there's that. One more of these. Who has daffodils out? And I know KK out in San Diego, that's right. You said you're way into blooming trees and lilacs, and please don't tell me your daylilies are out yet. But they might be, huh? Okay. Here we go. Oh, I heard a ding. Okay. Finger press that. So again, there's the rough. This is the beauty of the software when it prints out these papers. And you can treat each block like a little kit. Just do one block at a time. Like the Splendid Sampler. Boy, I love watching that come to life. What a great idea Pat Sloan and team had. There's your fourth one. Okay, can you see that? We're getting there. Now all we have to do is do 2 of these. 1, 2. Oh, these squares are tiny. This is funny. I'm using this size square, which is probably 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches, or 2 by 2.5. The square that it's going to turn out to be is about maybe 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. That's pretty funny. It's going to be a lot of waste. Oh, I dropped one. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Well, the good news is we haven't had any really bad news this week, I hope. Of course, I don't know about all over the world. We had a train crash in Pennsylvania. Killed 2 workers that got in front of the train or were there somehow. Hey! Ben is out there. Hi, Ben. Ben says, I want to make a shout out to Violet and all the West Tisbury School. Shrek was amazing, he says. Saturday at 7 p.m. So for anyone who's here and wants to see it, there are more shows. Saturday 7 p.m., Sunday 2 p.m. Hope you can make it. Aww. Hope you can make it. Love your dad's bird with you tonight. Thank you. Thanks. We were talking about the ospreys. Did you hear there were many osprey down at the mill pond fishing? Mom and I went down and we saw them yesterday and today. Yesterday we found 4. I think maybe we told you that last night. Dinner was delicious, by the way. Thank you. It was really good. Mom and I both said this morning we thoroughly enjoyed it. So, Mom, if you're out there, Shrek was good. I never do that, but you guys know she's here. Awesome. Okay, so this is my second to last piece. We'll put that in there. And make one more piece. My cousin Violet is she's basically producing the thing. She's responsible for everything behind the scenes, like all the sets and choreographing the lights, I think, and it is quite the production. So much work goes into those. Actually, since we have been, that's right, since we had this, oh, my machine's starting to float again. Last Saturday night we went to a chorus, the Island Chorus. It was an amazing show. And it was the Brahms Requiem, no intermission. There were seven parts to it, a couple of solos. It was beautiful. The person who described it said it's not a beginner's type of choral arrangement. It's like if singers were athletes, this was the marathon of singing. There are a lot of long notes and long phrases, and you really literally need to work up your stamina for it, your breathing, to be able to sing it. It's quite amazing. There were over 100 people up on stage, the orchestra and the singers. We enjoyed it. I think I know we would have liked it better if we had maybe been more familiar with that particular piece, but also like to hear the lyrics that we can recognize more easily, more popular type of music. But it was beautiful. Okay, so let's sew these puppies together. Can you see this? I'll push everything else away. So again, this is D-5 Cathedral Window. And now we're going to sew it all together. How are we doing here? Oh, good. Good, good, good. We have time. It's amazing what we can get done in 60 minutes. We should be able to get one good block, this block done. Okay. Actually, speaking of birds and carvings, like this one, the osprey, and my cousin Ben, for anyone out there who wants to see amazing carving of stone birds, go to cabotcarving.com and you can see what cousin Ben does. They're amazing. Out of granite, marble, probably not going to do it good service, but what he's known for right now are birds made on big granite posts. You know, they weigh hundreds and hundreds of pounds, probably thousands of pounds. Goes up and the bird is carved at the top. Whether it's a hawk or an eagle, they're amazing. So I think it is cabotcarving.com. And his birds have been and are positioned in places around New England and in private collections, and just beautiful. So now I'm putting 2 ends here. In fact, I went to see, that's something I did this week, I went to see my cousin's carving shop where he carves. It's a studio next to the house. Of course, not knowing or not remembering how carving of stone requires a whole boatload of air and pressure and noisy machines to carve it. My thought was, well, what kind of music do you listen to, Ben, while you carve? And he showed me his earmuffs, and you really can't listen to too much when you're carving that heavy-duty stuff. Oh, my. I have not, hopefully, that doesn't match at all. But hopefully the pattern doesn't call for it to match. And if it does, we're not matching it because it looks fine. We'll even have time to document this in our magazine or in our book. So for anyone out there who may be a first-timer to FiberCast, welcome aboard. You can see it's very casual. There aren't any rules, and it's just all about what we can get done together in 60 minutes. Tell a friend. That's how we will keep this engine going. I would appreciate it. And next week, as I say, I'll be back in the Simply Colorful studio, and we're going to explore some pocket doll makings, a contemporary type, using Gail Wilson as a guide, as an idea of the way she constructs them. I don't know why that didn't cut off. So there is our cathedral window, D-5. And we have time to document it, like we do with all our blocks. Here's my pen. Let's see. So we'll put that D5. Can you believe I think I started this 4 years ago? Okay. Today's date is 4/8/16. Made this one on FiberCast. KB was late. Mom was with me, and we talked about ospreys, their migration pattern, the fact that they do come up and down from the south to north every year. The mates come, actually I didn't tell you this, the mates are the same and they find each other when they come north, which is amazing, and they lay their eggs. The young, conversely, when they leave, they don't ever see them again. And again, the wingspan can be 71 inches wide, and their body can be up to 26 inches long. So that's a big bird. They're also known as seahawks. Okay, so we talked about ospreys. Yeah, this was a good one. I like it. And what can I say about Pamela? Pamela in the UK and Jen in Perth were just a few who joined us tonight. Not all that. Let's see. Oh, Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Thank you. What a nice text. Aw. Oh, and Violet. She says, hi, Violet. Violet says, thank you for mentioning the school and the play on FiberCast. It was great to see you yesterday. It was great to see you, too, and I'm so glad the play went well. That is fun. Mom's going tomorrow night. I probably am spilling the beans, but just so you know, she's going tomorrow night, she told me. All right. Let me make sure we've caught up with everyone who's written in. Oh, my! I'm so glad to see everyone here. If I don't say hi to you online, we have 3 minutes, I will make sure to reply back to you via email. Stephanie Plaster, hi. Stephanie says she's at Missouri Star Quilt Company. She says, I'm working on cosmetic bags for co-workers cancer fundraiser. Hope you had a good week, Stephanie. Ah! Are you watching it there at Missouri Quilt? Come on, baby. It's a JPEG. It says it's opening. Oh, you're not there now. We met each other at Missouri Star. I'm sorry. I was going to get really jealous. Oh, and now the picture isn't opening, so I'll come back to that. Susan, hi. She says, thanks for the shout-out. You're welcome. She says, the International Quilt Festival was fantastic. So many beautiful quilts. I'm lucky to live only about an hour away, lots of inspiration, and saw 2 Dear Jane quilts up close. One, the woman actually stuffed the applique block so it had a 3D effect. Ooh, there you go, Jen. Not sure what that technique is called. It's probably called trapunto. Look that up. Trapunto. That's where you can either, yeah, that's what it is. Not sure what to, okay. Up to 42 blocks done as of this afternoon. Did D2 and D3. Way to go. Mouse in the mirror and Jason's Jacks. That's great. Ah! So glad you had a good time, and I'm so glad you're out there. Marcia from California, she says, I'm finally able to watch live. She says, I'm not sewing tonight as I'm recovering from gallbladder surgery. Ouch. I hope you feel better. I understand it's painful, but then once the surgery, you just don't have that dull ache from the, what is it, the bile? Anyway, I hope you feel better. Feeling so much better, she says. Her husband is cooking dinner, bonus. Salmon he caught in Alaska when we were there last summer. Yummy. Oh, that does sound great. I enjoy watching you and seeing all the fiber skills you have. Thank you for welcoming us into your studio. Oh, Marcia, thank you for coming into my studio. It's because of you all that I get things done, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share back and forth. So that's great. And salmon from Alaska, you can't beat that. Okay, let's see if I can download Stephanie's bag. Here it is. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Oh, it's got cupcakes on it. I couldn't see what that was. It's a little bit hard to tell what that, oh, I bet it's still in process. Nice to see you out there. KK in Illinois, just a quick hey there, neighbor. Hope all is well. Love to all. Everything is great. Have a great week, KK. Ding! Oh, this must be Maureen. Taking it easy tonight, going into New York to see the play Wicked. Oh, I've always wanted to see that play. I've not seen that yet. Hopefully I can get to the city quicker. Quilter and Mood Fabric. Hopefully I can get to the city Quilter and Mood Fabric. Well, you're going to have to tell us more about that. I'm not sure what that is. Marquet, hi. Oh, I love this. This is a wonderful way to wrap up our FiberCast. She says, I'm working on quilt swap blocks. She says, hi, Lynn and FiberCaster gang. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. Just wanted to say hi and to let you know what Norma and I have been working on. We recently joined a group from our area called Kentucky Mountain Quilters Swap, and we're making blocks for the members in the group in their favorite colors. So much fun to do, one block and be finished with it. Isn't that that I think is the appeal of Dear Jane and the Splendid Sampler and the Farmer's Wife and all those quilt blocks like that, or quilts like that. Marquet goes on to say there are 6 in the group. She said, I had mine done, but now 2 others joined, so I'm working on theirs tonight. That's classic. So now you're making 8. Love that quilt behind you. Wow. Oh, thank you. 4 daughters. I only had the 1 and 1 son. I know. She is blessed to have them. Yes. And you are too. Well, enjoy your weekend. Glad to see and hear your Sloan Ashland running again, Marquet. Yes, Marquet. It is. But it's still, I noticed in the course of sewing for this past hour, it started to glide on me a little bit, as if either the presser feet aren't coming up high enough, or the presser foot isn't going down, or the feed dogs aren't coming up. But it's a dream. Ooh, and let's show ooh! Churn Dash, right? It goes by all different names. Oh, I love those. They look perfect. Look at you. Wendy, hi. She says, hi to Lynn and FiberCasters. We're on the road home from the big golf competition my son competed in. It's a 9-hour drive, so I'm looking forward to watching you later on tonight. Oh, good for you. She said, I did manage to get a few hexies done, but it was too hot to sit on the beach and sew, which was the grand plan. Be grateful for the time, but, she says, I'm grateful for the time away. Hope you're getting heaps done in your 60 minutes. Happy sewing. Thank you, and whenever you watch this, we're glad that you're back. Glad that you went and did that for your son and with your son. That's great. Gay, hi. Gay McGee, good evening, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Gay. Jamie, hello again, Lynn. Here's a picture of the window screen again. Oh, thank you. And a picture of the child's vest I finished earlier today. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie sent this to me just as we were wrapping up FiberCast last time. She is literally embroidered on screen fabric, and she wanted to remind us that you can do embroidery on a lot of different backgrounds. So if you can see, there's a chair. I believe there's a, yeah. You can see there's a chair through the window there. So let's say, you know what this would prevent is people running into screens without knowing they're there. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, look at that. And a vest that she has made and embroidered on. Thank you for resending that. I know I said I would show it, and I didn't get to it. Child's vest she finished earlier today. Thanks again, Jamie. I appreciate you resending that. And Joyce Long will close out FiberCast saying hi to Joyce. She said, I just wanted to say hi to you and all the FiberCasters. Usually I'm just watching Friday nights. I really haven't been sewing much. I need to clean my room, but just haven't done it yet. Maybe this weekend. I've been thinking about starting the Dear Jane quilt. It looks fun. Yeah. Hope you and everyone have a great weekend, Joyce. It is fun. It is. It's a big commitment, but it is fun. So I hope something inspires you. I know we all get into those dips and highs of creating, but just have the faith it'll come back and you'll be creating before you know it. So, it's the end of a long week. Thank you all for joining us here on FiberCast. Love to see what you're working on. Keep on sewing, be creative, and we'll see you back here next Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone. D-5 Cathedral Window. Bye.